you, Chief West. Okay, that is the end of public comment on this item. So members, we will now turn to item 8.2, which is the appointment of a mayor and vice mayor for the city of Emeryville for a one-year term that will expire in December of 2023. It has been my privilege and honor to serve as the mayor this past year, and as is traditionally the case, although we don't have any rules about it, I would like to nominate my vice mayor, Ally Medina, to serve as mayor, and I would like to nominate Courtney Welch to serve as the vice mayor. And I will accept other discussion. Member Medina.
Thank you so much, Mayor Bauters. Well, I really appreciate your nomination, and I accept that sometimes we rotate, sometimes we don't on this body. We actually don't have particular rules governing it. It's up to the council's discretion. I've thought long and hard about what it'd be to be mayor again this year. I've done it before. It is a ton of work. I think anyone who looks at the body of work that you put forth for the last 2 years knows how labor intensive it is to be the mayor of this community. And you can bring so much to it. My decision is that I do not have the capacity with my professional life right now to also serve as mayor and take on those responsibilities in addition to council member this year. And for that reason, moving into a really important budget cycle, to be able to spend the funds that we raised passing Measure O, to be able to keep our housing element on track, I would like to substitute nominate Mayor Bauters to continue another term as mayor and nominate Courtney to serve as vice mayor.
Okay. Member Welch.
Well, first, thank you both for your nomination. I accept your nomination for vice mayor, and I just want to mention to Vice Mayor Medina, I understand exactly where you're coming from. Capacity, most folks might not know, or folks who aren't that familiar don't know that all of us work full-time jobs in addition to serving on the council. All of us have outside responsibilities, family responsibilities, and knowing your capacity to serve is very wise and self-aware. And so I appreciate you just having that just transparency and bravery to say that publicly. And so with that, I would also second the nomination for Mayor Bauters to serve as mayor this upcoming year as well.
Thank you. Councilmember Mora. You're right, David, we can't hear you. You're on mute, David.
Apologies. Councilmember Welch beat me to it. I was going to second the motion, so that's fine. We can proceed with the vote.
Okay. I'm going to call for public comment before we discuss. Members of the public who wish to comment on this item will get, this is a ceremonial item, technically 1 minute to discuss. Please recognize Anonymous for 1 minute.
I think you should nominate somebody other than Mr. Bauters, because I think it's unseemly to have an Emeryville mayor serve back-to-back terms. It's never happened in our history, and it seems like a okay, Councilmember Medina is laughing about that. We haven't had back-to-back mayors like this with this. No, I don't. No, she's okay. She's wrong. Haven't had back-to-back mayors like it. I think it's unseemly. I don't think we should have this. Unless the people vote, I don't think we should have the mayor be twice in a row. And so I think you should select somebody else other than the former mayor. That's my opinion. Councilmember Medina disagrees, but I think we should have somebody else other than the mayor that we just had for a year. Should be some other person. So one of the five of you.
Thank you for your comment. I'd like to recognize Yolanda Harris for 1 minute, please.
Hi again. Yeah, I'm just kind of concerned why the public isn't involved in this decision. I see you all talking, and I don't know. I saw the other woman, Medina, making some. So I'm concerned. Is this a professional? Is this a real business meeting? Are you all friends? I mean, how are you all operating this? Because this is my first time in your body, but I'm looking at all your facial expressions, your body languages, your comments, your accolades throughout this whole process. This is serious. And where are the public? Why the public isn't speaking? Where's the voice of the people? I know you all like each other, you probably know each other, work well, but we are talking about how we serve the people, the public. And I just feel that the public should have a say-so as how you all are switching these roles around like this. You all are elected officials and adults.
Thank you for your
And
comment.
adults.
Okay, the next speaker will be Diane Martinez, please.
Hi there. I'm a member of the public, and I just want to say, as someone who has served on this body for 8 years and seen close up the good work done by Mayor Bauters and by Councilmember Welch, that they would be excellent to serve as our mayor and our vice mayor over the next year. I also, having worked with the 13 other mayors in Alameda County, I would say that Mr. Bauters may be the hardest working mayor that we have possibly in the state. If you counted the hours that he puts into this job, not only serving the people of Emeryville, but serving the wider region on the bodies that he serves on for Alameda County Transportation Commission and for the Bay Area Air Quality Management District, which is deep, deep work, by the way. I think he would be, if he's willing to take this on, I think he'd be an excellent mayor for another year. And I think Councilmember Welch did very well.
Okay, thank you. The next commenter, please, will be Betsy Cooley.
I would like to say that as a community member, I've lived in Emeryville for 35 years, and we've had a rotating mayor for the entire time I've been here, but it's not everybody. Sometimes people speak of it as it's exactly a rotating mayor. It just is like there are no exceptions, but there have always been exceptions over the years, depending on, certain circumstances. And right now, there are 3 people who have experience working on the city council, and Ally is not able to do it this year. Courtney is new to the council, is going to be vice mayor, and David and Kalimah are both new to the council. I personally think that to serve as mayor, you need to have some background in actually working with the city and learning how things, operate. And so to me, it makes sense if John is able to. And I know John, I've known John for many years. So, I mean, this is not something that I'm saying just out of loyalty because he's a friend of mine. I agree with everything Diane Martinez said, and I think it makes sense for that to happen.
Thank you for your comment. The next speaker, please, will be the phone number ending in 4058.
I'd just like to say I agree. I'd like to see Courtney as the vice mayor and John as the mayor again. And maybe if, y'all could dress up for Christmas next year too and wear some matching costumes, that'd be great. Thanks.
Thank you for your comment. Ms. Harris, I see your hand raised. There's one opportunity per item to speak on public comment. We don't return to commenters in the same item. So is there any other member of the public who has not spoken that would like to speak on the item? Okay, seeing none, the comment period is now over and we'll turn to discussion. Member Welch.
I just wanted to point out, as Vice Mayor Medina did starting out, the rotation isn't a rotation, it's actually a selection. We select the mayor and vice mayor. The rotation is not set in stone, and that's in our city charter, as Vice Mayor Medina mentioned in her statement. So if you're unfamiliar with Emeryville or our charter, you can feel free to look it up and you will see that is a selection of the council members. The public did get a vote when they elected us. So the selection of the mayor and the vice mayor is on the council, who have been selected by the public to do so. Thank you, Mayor Bauters.
Thank you. Are there other members who wish to discuss? I heard a nomination and I want to just respond to it. in a couple ways. Being a city council member has been a very significant privilege for me. And having the opportunity to serve this past year as mayor has been a very significant privilege as well. The duties of the mayor depend on what you choose to make of it. And as was noted by the member of the public, I've chosen to use that space to do the best I can on behalf of the city, put the city's finances first and the city first, and represent us regionally, and put a lot of time into a position that I still have to manage a full-time job for, but I'm gracious for my full-time job in nonprofit work on criminal justice reform and the support they give me to do this work. I'm hearing support and I'm hearing reasons to ask me to do it again, and I'm willing to do it one more year with the understanding that I'm not looking to do this permanently. And so if I do it, if I accept a nomination, and that's the choice of the council tonight, I just want to be really clear that next year I am hoping that other people will be willing to serve as the mayor, because I'm not looking to make this a permanent responsibility for myself. So I've heard a nomination. I want to just invite additional discussion after I've given my comments on that, and if not, I'll entertain a motion. And the public comment is closed. Sorry for the public comment has been closed now. Go ahead, Member Welch.
Priforce has his hand up. You missed him.
Who did?
Kalimah has his hand up.
You use the raise hand feature on Zoom, Kalimah, because your background, I can't see it if you don't. Sorry. Do you have a comment? Would you like to comment?
So if people who are upset, right? Like I'm seeing, like I'm getting tons of messages. People are upset. It doesn't feel right that it seems like this decision was made prior to this meeting. That there's. How long do I have? How long?
There's no time limit, but if you go on, it becomes a question for the council whether to curtail debate.
Gotcha. Okay. So as an educator and as a parent, when you teach a kid baseball, you tell them, okay, you know what, you're going to swing, 3 strikes, you're out, right? And if that kid holds on to the bat, then you go, no, that's not right. You have to give other people a chance to play, right? That's the difference between a play and game. Right? That you can play all you want, but games involve other people when you play with others. And that is also the difference between morals and ethics. And so morally, you want to be able to teach your kid to be able to give up the bat, for them to be able to say, you know what, yeah, it's not fair. Yeah, let me give somebody else a chance. Ethically, right? And there's 2 types of ethics. There's regulated ethics, that which we have on our books, and then it's just ethics when it comes to people. That ethically, that the person is thinking about other people and going, well, you know what? Yeah, for the good of the group, this doesn't feel right. And so I'm going to let someone else get a chance. And to be able to have that kind of, David and I actually spoke about this last night. And this is what you're going to expect from me. Pretty much what I say in public, I'll say in private. That this outsized influence. And it's easy to have an outside influence when you're white, you're a male, middle class, and you've had the kind of history with city government that you have, John. So this is nothing against you personally. It's just that morally something's not kicking in, where you say, you know what, nah, this is not for me. And you know what, maybe I need to talk about this amongst everyone and let them know, you know what, this doesn't feel right for me, right? And that's something that I have not heard you say. Ethically, that for the good of the group, that this is something that people will go, well, you know what, when they elect us as city council members, they elect us assuming once they understand how things work in Emeryville, that there's something that rotates. And David and I, you and I, last night spoke about changing things where that the city of Emeryville can actually elect their mayor. But until then, my buddy in Albany said that they also rotate, but they rotate and it's planned. It's planned sometimes years in advance, so he knows exactly when he becomes a mayor. And that's something that we also don't do. Now, in Emeryville's history, from what I know of, there have been times when people have been skipped because of politics and how things, how the relationships of people on city council. And so there have been times that people have skipped, and there are times when people actually have, as a correction, have served more than once. From my knowledge, that could be corrected. But when it comes down to it, how do the people feel? And I've heard tonight, and from what I'm seeing from other people, that collegiality is important. I think that even the way that I'm speaking to you all right now, I would never insult you or do anything like none of that needs to be there. No violence or any of that there. Although I do question why the emphasis on collegiality is happening as a Black man is being elected in city council. But when it comes down to it, how we govern has to reflect what the people want. And so I agree with what Yolanda has said, where if there was any talk or decision about, well, you know what, maybe this may not land well for the people of Emeryville, let's have a town hall. Let's have some sort of discussion. Let's actually talk and engage with people and see how they think and feel. Now, if Ally doesn't want it, okay. If Courtney doesn't want it, okay. Well, then I totally get that. I run my building's tenant board association, and I wish somebody would take over the position, but nobody wants it. So I totally get that. But at the same time, I think we should be paying attention to how people feel and how the public feels, and that if it lands in a way to the public that that John should give somebody else a chance. If here's what I would like to see. I would like to see either Ally, but especially Courtney, since Courtney's hasn't been mayor before, that John, that you be vice mayor and you support Courtney. You be that ally to her. That's and I think that us progressives, this is the kind of governance that people want to see. This is why there was a progressive wave throughout the East Bay, is because people are tired of us of our politics being the way that they are and representing it the way that they are, coming across the way that they are. And so I totally get it if this is the way that things are, but just be cognizant of how this will land with people, that they're expecting rotation, on the books or not, they're expecting rotation, and if someone is sticking around, it may not land well. And I just hope that we are able to communicate and engage the public as to why this is happening. Other than that, if this is something that John wants, then it's something that I would support. But please pay attention to what the people want.